What is up, mortals? Alex here. Today I have a video for you guys. I have a deck profile on Thunder Dragons, a deck that most people thought was dead just because Colossus got banned. That hit really did hurt a lot. It didn't kill the deck, but it definitely knocked it from its top tier status. Um, if you've been subscribed to me for a while, you've known that I've been playing the deck for a while, and I'm very stubborn to let decks die. I usually try them out once, twice after they've been killed, and then see if they're viable or not. With Thunder Dragons, again, the only card that got hit was Colossus. Colossus was a very, very important piece to the deck, but the deck doesn't really need it to play or win games. Titan is the star of the deck now, and we focus the deck on him. Everything that we play in the deck is to turbo out Titan and get his pop effect as many times as we can per turn. Not being able once per turn is what makes this card, or what saves this card, honestly, just because being 3200 is great and all, but there's still a lot of monsters in the meta game that can run him over with ease. He just has the ability to pop multiple cards per turn, and is what makes him good. So before I boot the deck completely, I decided to try it out and see if it works. And surprised enough, it does. It's been doing really, really well. I've been playing against my friends, and they all have higher tier decks: Orcus, Striker, Pendulums, Spiral, Solomon Greats. It's been doing really, really well against all those decks. And I've been modifying it here and there, and there's a few things that I would still want to try it out. So if you guys have a list that you've been trying for a while, please post it down below, and then maybe we can talk about ideas. But enough rambling. I'll be explaining the deck. This is a 42 card deck, by the way. I am playing 3 Desires, so if you don't feel comfortable playing 42, then feel free to cut 2 of the cards and make it 40. But right now, just 42 because I'm playing 3 of pretty much everything in Desires and all of that math, 3 Thunder Dragons, the original one. You still need to play it, since the way that you trigger Titan multiple times per turn. Discard 1, pop a card, discard a second one, pop a second, recycle, and then do it, rinse and repeat. Very important card. You definitely need to play 3 of those still. For my favorite one, Thunder Dragon Dark, triggers Titan with his discard effect, and it searches any of the Thunder Dragon cards when it's sent from the field or banished. Sent from the field to the grave or banish. Again, my favorite one, probably the best one as well. Glad still at 3. Japan recently got it to 2, which is kind of nuts. We got, or it's still at 3 for them. Might be Roar that went to 2, but we still play 2 because Allure Darkness and Roar is usually game, and I'm trying to resolve that as much as possible. Very, very good card, and also triggers Titan's effect. Discard to add something back, and then Titan pop. 3 of those for sure. 3 Hawks, 100%. We're never cutting this to 2 anymore. With Colossus ban, we need access to all the Thunder Dragon's effect in hand at every turn, all the time. And Hawk lost its power. It really did. It just usually gets you back a Roar or a Dark for you to link away next turn to claim an effect, but you still play it. The mulligan effect comes into play more often than not. Hog, very important. It's a Thunder, makes Titan. 3 Dragon Matrix, still need this at 3. It can trigger Titan during other player's turn, and it also helps us keep our resources high. When one is sent to the field, to the graveyard, or banished, you add a second copy. Then you can mulligan 1 away with Hawk. And the second copy of Thunder Dragon, so that's a +2 that you just got, and maybe you can dig for something stronger. And again, triggering Titan is very, very important. Definitely 3 of these. That's a playset of all the Thunder Dragon monsters, and for the last 2 Thunder monsters, I am playing 2 duo. Recently from 1 and now at 2. I just want to have this card early game. If I open with this and I can make it live on my follow-up, it's usually game. And once my opponent deals with the one, the second one will just come in and win the game. And if I need to go be aggressive to go push for a game, I can usually summon this, and this is game on its own. Really good card. A big fan of duo. Not 3. I think 2 is a very good number. One was really good, but I think the second one comes in handy a lot more. One Chaos Dragon Levineer just to have a bomb, really. It's not needed in the deck, but it definitely helps break boards when you go second. After going Dark and Phase and double Thunder Dragon Pitch, that's 2 lights in a dark, summon this, pop their field, and then get a card right away. Very good card. I wouldn't play any more than one, and just having the one access to it, it's good enough in my opinion. It's allurable if we need to get rid of it, if it's dead in our hand. Mid to late game, we can recycle it back from the banish to put it on top or bottom of the deck with Duo. And we can summon it again if we're into a grinding game, but just the one Levineer. If you want to play more, you're gonna have to play Dangers, which, by the way, that's something that's not in my deck. I am not playing any Dangers. I'm not playing any crazy extended. This is still pure Thunder, and that's the only way that I've ever liked this deck. For the normal summons, from 2, now at 3, Aloof Lupine. It's definitely the best one now. Triggering 2 of your guys on summon, it's kind of insane. I was doing just the 2, but I want to see this card in my opening hand all the time. And it's also a dark. Really good card. The adding effect, when it dies, is actually extremely relevant. Sometimes you can trigger all your Thunder Dragons and ram this into something, and then grab back a dark for next turn. Really good. Amazing card. Definitely a 3. I still want to have normal summons or access to them at all the time, but Solar is the weakest one. Solar is really strong with Hawk. Yes, I'll admit that, but we don't want to be doing that. We want to have more consistent hands and be able to do more consistent plays as well. And that's why Aloof Lupine is a little more precision. You can banish 1 from hand, which can be anybody, and then 1 from the deck, which is exactly the one you need. With Solar, it's really good again if you have Hawk. But he gets destroyed by hand traps a lot more often. Ogre, Valor, Ash, and Perm, everything really. But we still want to be able to climb into a Boros or a Palooza play with 1 or 2 cards and still generate a bunch of advantage. This is a really good follow-up. Once you have established a board and then you summon this, and you can accelerate your engine that way, just because sending a Dark or a Roar and then bringing it back with Hawk is usually game. Very good. Still searchable with Fusion Spell and Duo. Very good card. No, not at 3. I don't think I would ever play 3 of that card unless Colossus became legal. Plus Nibiru is being played everywhere, so 2 of those. For the hand traps, I'm only playing 6. Do not crucify me. I'm playing 2 Ash Blossom. I'm playing enough draw cards that I will see at least 1 of these per game. The third one always became dead, and to be honest, Ash Blossom, it's just been a little lackluster lately. Definitely still play 2, since lots of people are playing dinosaurs, and Evolution Pill, it's really good card, so we're trying to stop that with this, really. 2 Phantasme, it lets us go second better and unlock our hands. You have no idea how many times I Phantasmate into like a playable or winnable hand. Every time I resolve this, it just makes my hand a lot better. And I feel protected, of course, since they can't really do anything to Titan. They can unicorn it with IP. They can impermanence it. It's really strong card. I'm glad this getting reprinted so more people have access to it, because this is one of the best cards that they've ever printed, honestly. With Lynx dying now, this card will be moved to the side deck, but as of right now, I'm still main decking it to speed up the deck, to mulligan my hand. I have 2 chances of doing that, thanks to Phantasme and Hawk. So the deck can be very consistent when it needs to be, but it can be very breaky when it will, and that's what we're trying to mitigate, those break hands. And Phantasme is still a dark. You can allure it away and then get it back with Aloof, or put it back to the top of the deck with Duo. Very good card. And Phantasme also lets us dig for Ash Blossom and for Draw and Lock. Draw and Lock is here mainly for Spiral, but it has some applications against other random decks like Dinosaurs. When they go Rhoda into Oviraptor, you can send this, and then they don't get to summon Conductor Tyranno unless they hard drew the pill. But we're trying to stop those instances where our opponent's just going to like steamroll us with searches. I heard Pendulums as well, and it kind of stops Spirals in its track. So just a 2. If I'm missing The third one I'll definitely add it, but the third droll it's in the side deck. So 2 of those for now. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, we just play a suite of draw cards. 3 Allure Darkness. Allure into Dark Aurora is usually game. That's a +2 plus. That's a +1. Apothecary straight up. But it gives us access to any monster in our deck, any thunder card in our deck, which is really, really strong. Definitely play 3, no less. Even if you're playing a combo version, you still play 3 of those. 3 Pot of Desires. I've been playing 3 for a while now, in most of my decks, honestly. I just want to draw cards. That's all we want. We want to dig a little bit, get rid of all of our combo pieces that we need. In this deck, at least one each of the Thunder Dragons out of the deck, and then you Desires into something playable, into a fusion usually, which is really, really strong. Pot of Desires. If we draw the second one from the first one, we can just pitch it of some summoner, or you can recycle most of your things and then play the second one. And once you resolve 2 Desires, there's no way you lose. Again, this deck digs very well, and it has access to everything in its deck at any point, which is really, really strong. 2 fusion spells. I was playing 3, and the mentality behind it was that I wanted to open with this card, and hints where I have this become a lot better, infinitely better, a lot stronger, more consistent. It gives me a follow-up, but it also breaks more often. So I decided to cut one of these for the third Aloof Lupine, and I'm gonna test for now. I think that's a little better than 3 of these. Aloof Lupine can start your engine. This can only accelerate it. Plus, it's recurable with Roar. 2 of those. With Instant Fusion as well, I was playing 3, but I decided to cut the third for the second duo. The duo is a Dark, it's a Thunder, and it also allows us to go for game more often. With Instant Fusion, it just speeds up our engine. It starts up by giving us a Kaminari attack, and Kaminari attack with any of the relevant Thunder Dragons, it becomes full combo. Which now full combo is IP, Titan, and other little things. Maybe a Boral Sword play. Very good. We just want to open with this, but we don't want to oversee it since we're only playing 2 targets. And as you already saw, we can dig through our deck fairly well. We'll for sure get our hands on 1 Instant Fusion. Gold Sarcophagus. If you have never played Thunder Dragons, activate this card and you'll see what happens. Very good card. And for my 41st and second card, these were Nibiru's at first. Now I moved the Nibiru's to the side deck. Nibiru is great and all, but against back row decks, I want to have an answer to that. I'm not playing Twin Twister since 1 Twin Twister is usually not enough. And if I'm going against a big boar combo decks, I can just attempt to break it with this and then main phase 2 Titan the rest. Very, very good. I'm thinking about playing the third in the side deck, but right now just 2 in the main deck. That's it, 42 for the main deck. Again, if you guys have any questions, post them down below. If there's some things that you would change, please let me know and then we can have a discussion about it. For the extra deck, 15, still work in progress, but very happy with this list. Now, as always, 3 Titan. This is the one that I kept going back and forth between 2 and 3 last format, but now we have to play 3. The third one comes up all the time. You summon 1 with Kaminari attack, or because Instant Fusion, then you fuse for the second one, then you put both of this and something else for the third, and that's how you just keep looping all 3. You can get away with 2, but you need the third a lot of the time. So 3 Titans. Instant Fusion targets when you have 1 Kaminari attack. Since this and any Thunder monster, it's equals Titan, and Titan is the deck. So we definitely need to play this. Sad face that we play one of those. 1 Thousand Eyes. Thousand Eyes is actually really strong. It being a spot removal and an arrow down being a link removal target. It's really good. It lets us play through our opponent's counter trap cards. When they have against Salamangreat, we can just bait the Roar and Rage. Against Orcus, they have to do something to this. Against the Mirror, if they have a Titan, they have to pop this before we can commit to our plays. Against Spiral, this is like really like a little dead, but against Spiral, we just need to get to a Titan and start breaking their board. Very good card though. Definitely one in the deck. That's it for the fusions. You can maybe play Millennium Eyes, but as of right now, I don't think it's needed. Pose Master Rule 5, Millennium Eyes could be can come into the deck. For the rank 10s, since Titan it's a level 10 monster and we can summon 2 of them with ease, we're playing one gun, detach 1 to burn your opponent for 2,000. And time is usually game, and when they have a lot of monsters, we just overlay this thing over it. And Libby, it's a rank 11 and it requires a rank 10 or rank 10 to overlay this on top, and then materials become attached to this. Once per turn, you can detach a material, and then it can attack. It gains 2,000 attack, and it can attack monsters equal to the number of materials that it has. So it's usually it can attack twice. You attack 2 times for 6,000. That's a lot of damage. Mind you, the attack boost is permanent, so next turn you can do it again and attack again. Very good card. It's like a second Borrelsaur. When your opponent is not expecting you to summon a Borrelsaur because you only have 2 Titans, you can just summon this, burn them, and then kill them for the rest. Very underrated, very good. Definitely give it a try. And for the Link monsters, Linkuriboh, I don't think I need to explain this guy. Matrix is a level 1. It lets us get an additional copy, one in the graveyard, a Dark, an Arrow. Good card. And there's some combos that require Linkuriboh to be up there for us to summon other Link monsters. IP Masquerena, it's usually just to summon Nightmare monsters in our opponent's turn. Unicorn, Phoenix, it's usually Unicorn though. IP, Link 2, any Link 2 would do it, but IP lets you Link summon your opponent's turn, which is kind of insane. Security Dragon is very good. There's some place where you have Solar and Hawk. You can go into Linkuriboh, then into this, and then you float into a guy, you bounce a monster for free, then you Nightmare Phoenix, and then you draw a card, and then you can just make a Palooza for 3, and then clear your opponent's board that way while establishing something of your own. Really good. Big fan of the Security Dragon. Spot removal and its arrows are not too terrible. Really cool card. One Summoner, still playing Thunder. Its effect to revive comes on more often than not, since we're never really making Colossus with this guy since Colossus is banned. But to discarding a monster or discarding any card to bring back a Thunder, it's just nuts. Sometimes you just get back a Dark or a Hawk. Dark or Roar, and just claim their effects on their turn, and it just during your turn just generates so much advantage thanks to this card. And sometimes you can just bring back a duo on their end phase, and then you can just kill your opponent on the follow-up. Really good card. Phoenix, we need to be killing back row. Everybody plays Floodgates, and if your opponent has the one set, you can just get rid of it and then commit to the board and probably go for a game. Definitely play one of those. Unicorn, it's spot removal, and it's the best monster to summon of IP. Only second to Avramax, really. Definitely play a Link 3, and in this case, Unicorn. Palooza, it's kind of mandatory to play in any deck that wants to do something. Especially combo decks. You summon this, a Titan or 2, and then your opponent can't play it. It's very, very good. You definitely need to play one of this. You can't get away with not. And for the last card, Borrelsaur Dragon, I don't need to explain this card besides game. This card, every time it hits the board, is usually game. Borrelsaur, I don't think Borreload is even needed anymore. You can maybe say otherwise because Sleeper is in the meta, and Sleeper can't pop Borreload, and you just take it. But if Spirals are still the most represented deck, then there's going to be a few changes to the extra deck for sure. But as of right now, I'm really, really happy with how things turn out. Again, let me know what you guys think of the deck list. This is a deck that I've been working on forever, of course. If you have something better that you've been testing, please post it down below. I'll do my best to check it right away, and we can maybe talk about it. I'm always happy to talk about this deck, honestly. It's one of my favorites. And until it's unplayable, I'll stop playing it. And maybe eventually we'll get Colossus back. I will be doing an update once we get the new monster next set, which actually helps this deck a lot. not doesn't make any like top tier, but it just increases the playability of it and the versatility that you have when you're starting your plays, when you're like planning your game states. If you haven't read on that guy, it's the new level 9 Thunder Monster. It's a really good car, but nowhere near game breaking for it. Anyways, that's it. Thank you if you stuck this long. I know my deck profiles a little longer, but I do some explanation here and there. If you guys don't like that, well, I'm gonna post the deck list down below so you guys can skim through it and maybe give it a test online. But for now, again, thank you for watching. If you like the deck, like the video. If you want to see other content, just please check out my channel. I have more deck profiles and some discussion explanations on certain decks, and I will be sure to bring up more content for you guys. Alex out. Peace.